So it might be possible. Maybe he starts to continue as I'm trying to go for that Darce. He continues to try to transition to this bottom four-quarter position. Maybe he saw it coming and he just continued to turtle up because he didn't know how to defend the Darce or whatever. We're just going to make up a scenario here. So again, when I get him into this top four-quarter position, I'm sprawling out and dropping my weight into him. He's taking my weight. So if I can, I might just be able to hook his head here. And so from here, when I hook this head, I'm going to take my other hand down. I'm going to grab palm to palm, and I'm going to throw my elbow over his shoulder. So I come here. I get his head, go palm to palm, and I drive that arm under his shoulder. I want to keep this shoulder glued to his back as much as I possibly can. And the reason that I want to do that is that the tendency when people do a guillotine choke is they start to kind of like jerk back, and what's going to happen is his head's going to pop out. So I'm not going to be able to complete that choke. So once I get into this position, and then I'm usually going to start to build my posture up a little bit to kind of pick him up. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get underneath him. And I'm going to close up my guard. So I've got, hopefully, this choke here. And what I'm going to do, instead of like trying to expand, I'm going to draw my knees and I'm going to do a little crunch. And I just kind of cinch into it, right? If we expand, we lose that choke, right? So I could, if I wanted to, potentially extend my legs back. But again, that's giving him the escape. So I'm going to crunch in and implode rather than explode. Right? So for now, since it's going to be really, really difficult to kind of show this from the guard, I'm going to go ahead and move on, and we're going to move into the arm-in guillotine, because I think that, honestly, the arm-in guillotine is a lot higher percentage for me. I get that scenario a lot more often. It's more secure, and it's a little bit funky, but it's going to be kind of the same situation. You ended up in this turtle position, right? And maybe I do have this position. Sometimes, maybe I got the Snapdown at the very beginning and I pulled him into this position. Whatever. So I'm going to underhook the head the same as I did before, but this time I'm going to grab my pinky, palm to back of hand, right? And I get here, and then I'm going to slide in. And when I slide in, I'm going to hook his hip with this leg. So you see that leg? It's going to be hooking the hip on this side. Notice that I am on my side a little bit. And so I throw my leg over the top, because the way that he's going to defend this is he's going to try to forward roll out of it. If I don't have this out here, we're going to end up in this kind of weird head-to-head position where we're both laying flat on the ground and there's no choke to be had. So I throw this leg over the top to kind of block that. I dig my boot in. I've got my head grip. And then the finish for this one is the same as the other one, right? I'm going to start to implode into him. So you see I'm drawing my knees in as I do a little crunch, and I'm bringing my head further onto his back, right? So I'm really listening to his heart through his spinal column here as much as I can. So, however we've ended up here, right? I'm going to get this and I'm going to get this. I'm grabbing pinky, right, over the top of my pinky. So this palm to the back of this hand. I get that grip here. I do want to have it kind of further out, right? Because again, if I've got my arm here and I'm driving straight up into his trachea, I've got more of a trachea crush rather than a blood choke. And so I'm actually kind of moving closer to that rear naked choke position if I can, right? And that's going to be true of the regular guillotine as well, right? Because when I do that regular guillotine, I'm going to really try to get that depth by looking up to the ceiling, because I don't want to crush his trachea. I want him to pass out as fast as possible. So I'm here and I slide in. So I'm going to tuck this leg in and slide it up to his hip, and I make that connection. My foot's going to usually go over the hip. This is going to go over the hip here. I've got that grip, and then I implode, right? And as I implode, I'm bringing this up, and I'm bringing my head closer to my knees. I'm pulling my knees into my face, and I'm actually kind of squeezing with my knees a little bit, just like I'm trying to do a body scissor or something like that. So I'm really, really kind of into him. And that's going to be like the best way that you're going to be able to finish any type of guillotine, is to actually implode rather than explode. The same is going to be true of your rear naked chokes. That's kind of true of the Darce choke if you think about it, right? Because we are, he's on his side when we're dropping our hips to bring our pressure into that shoulder. Um, and for the anaconda choke, right? So I'm not pulling up on his head. Instead of walking my body in and I'm doing that crunch and I'm just closing up as much of that space with my body as I possibly can. So what I'm looking to do in all of those positions is implode and close up the space, not explode and let his head pop out. Alright guys, so that's going to be your Darce choke, anaconda choke, the weird flip over to kind of a guillotine position, the regular guillotine from top four quarter or snapdown or whatever, however you got into it, and then the arming guillotine, which honestly to me is a lot higher percentage of a choke. So there you guys have it for today. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you haven't seen already, there is a Facebook group already set up. It should be in the link down below. And there is a Telegram group as well, because I want people to actually be able to chat, bring up questions, comments, concerns with one another, talk about their fitness routines, talk about their sanity in quarantine, tell jokes to one another, whatever suits you guys. But I really want to make sure that this is a community building enterprise, not a hey, it's the Chris one-man show thing going on here. So yeah, so whatever you guys have to contribute, we've got quite a few people that have joined the Facebook group so far that have experience in Greco-Roman wrestling, some judo guys, some, I think we even have some guy that does sambo, which is kind of a Russian version of submission wrestling. So we got people of all kinds of backgrounds, and hopefully as we continue to develop, they'll be able to, maybe they'll be able to contribute videos or whatever to help this channel grow and to help this community grow. And so really I haven't gotten a whole lot of questions so far as like techniques or things that people want to see. I've had some people, say, oh, I want to see more triangle chokes or a couple other chokes and whatnot. So thus we're doing this series today. But yeah, you guys, if you guys ask, I will respond, and that's basically how it goes. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna do another video here in a second, and I'll talk to you guys later.